Hello everyone, today I'm with Fernanda from KWAN. If you'd like to introduce a bit yourself, what is your role at KWAN? What is KWAN? I have very good memories of KWAN. I joined KWAN back in Rupial times. That was my first job. I'll let you introduce yourself and the company as well. Many thanks.
Marco, first of all, thank you for the invitation. As you said, my name is Fernanda. I'm a head of talent acquisition here at KWAN. I assumed this role 5 years ago. KWAN is a Portuguese outsourcing company. Our position and our market is mainly develop outsourced projects for our clients, both in Portugal as well as in other places all over the world, mainly in Europe and some other projects in North America. Currently, our headcount rounds 300 people, mostly software developers and all the other roles related with software development.
Currently, we are in a mission, a road to Mars, right? So you have a mission of a road to
Yeah,
Mars. So
that's
you are
correct.
aiming, I believe that is 500 people.
Yeah,
So you are,
500 people.
really?
Yeah, really.
Really aggressive. It's really road to Mars, huh? So it's a high pressure on the talent team.
Yeah, pressure on talent team as well, obviously on our client growth team, because they are the ones bringing us the opportunities and bringing us the clients and managing our current clients. As you probably know from your experience leading with our companies, the world is quite struggling in what concerns hiring new people, and for KWAN, it's not different. We had a very good times back on 2023, 2024, 2025. But at the beginning of this year, we had some difficulties as well
The
regarding new
market has shifted
hires.
a bit.
Yeah. The end of this second quarter of the year was really good, so very good perspectives for the second semester of the year, and we plan still to hire around 100 people till the end of the year.
That's
It's
a great,
our
great,
Yeah, it's our
great
goal.
goal.
Let's see how far we can go, but that's our perspective.
You also have a great culture inside of Quant. You have an approach a bit different. I know a bit the company from the inside as well. So I know that you think a bit outside of the box in terms of culture, in terms of internal processes, internal recognition, all those things. And I think that will help you a lot to achieve those 500 people on your road to
Actually,
Mars.
our main goal is to put our people in the center of everything. We are a people first culture, not all in the paper, but also on the way we manage the company on a daily basis, meaning we have a team called People Experience Partners that are full dedicated to our consultants. And actually, they are managing, obviously, their professional journey inside KWAN, but they are also managing, I'll say, other ex-spheres from our consultants. They are very close to them, and sometimes I think they even go a little bit inside the personal side of our consultants, creating very strong bonds with them. We are very flexible as well. We are very friendly. The consultant has always the chance to choose which project wants to work in.
Yeah.
If for some reason someone is not happy with the current project, the company starts immediately looking for another project for another client. We are very open both with the consultant and the client, meaning if for some reason, Marco, you are working in a client and you are not happy, I'll talk with the client and I'll let them know that, listen, Mark is not happy because of
Yeah.
those reasons.
Finding
So I'll
someone
start
in
looking
your
for
project.
another project unless you are in a condition that you can change the things that are not making Marco happy. So I think this is one of our most different things, because you know that in some consultants companies this won't happen.
Yes, relate to that because back in the time that I was at Rupial, the funniest sentence that I hear from Rui is if I don't change him, I lose the consultant and I will lose you as a client. I can use this as an opportunity and find the consultant a better project and meanwhile find you a good replacement. So I work with you to find you a solution, but also with the candidate or with the consultant in this case. Most of the companies, they wait until the consultant says, I'm leaving. I told you 6 months ago that I was not happy. Now it's the time. And they say, oh, but they didn't prepare the change. And many times they lose the placement and they lose the candidates.
And sometimes we receive some comments like, but the client won't be happy. won't be happy knowing that someone is not feeling good inside their project. This is not correct because the client wants also to give the best conditions for the people that are working for them. Obviously, client won't lose the candidate or won't lose the consultant because it's hard to find a replacement. And if you have this culture that allows everybody to know what's going on and allows everybody to have a B plan and to work proactively in both the client side and the consultant side, you increase the chance to have both sides happy and both sides satisfactory with the service and obviously the consultant with the company.
I think that's very important and places you in a different kind of segment of the market. So people associate KWAN with a good experience, and by associating it with a good experience, I was well treated. They also refer friends. Currently, how many candidates that you get are referred by other candidates, by your own employees, and by your good name in the market?
I think it rounds 20% more or less, and that's nice because we receive obviously some references coming from our current employees, but we also receive references both from alumni and from people that never works with us, but knows us from social media or has some contact with someone that in the past worked with us. We also have this kind of references, which is very nice for us and show us that we are doing a good job in what concerns the way we treat people and the way we manage our consultants.
I think also the ambassador program that you have and like coaching, because I see a recruiter, especially in outsourcing sector and consulting, more as a coach than as a filter. Because when you're in a final customer, usually you just filter. You just receive applications and you filter them. In a consulting and outsourcing and staffing, you try to get the best results with the candidates that you have. So meaning that coaching, CV preparations, interview preparation, I think you act much more as a coach in many cases, and then just as a recruiter to try to find people and to place them in a project.
You live abroad, but you know quite well the Portuguese market. You know that here in Portugal, there are a lot of outsourcing companies. So besides all the tough market that the IT market is itself, we also have a lot of other competitors. It increases, obviously, the difficulty of attract talent for KWAN. Yeah, so as well as for other outsourcing.
Similar clients or the same clients.
And then you have like other reality that came after COVID. There is a lot of people in Portugal working obviously for other places in Europe because as you know, there is a lot of qualified people in Portugal, so it's easy to get a job abroad. So all of those things led us to a position that you need to be very differentiate in the way that you do your recruitment process, okay? As you said, if you are in a final client, most probably you just put an ad on LinkedIn and you receive the candidates and then you screen them and call them for an interview and that's it. I've mentioned that around 20% of our hirings are coming from references and almost all the 80% are coming from our sourcing in LinkedIn. And obviously the message you send them is everything. You mentioned all this coach or all this treatment you give them and the way you show them both the project and both the journey they may have inside the company are crucial for them in order to say, yes, I want to talk to you, or no, I don't want to talk to you at all. And you've been in the position that, for instance, a candidate receive an offer for KWAN and for another company for the same client, and then you need to argue why the candidate why the candidate should choose KWAN. And I'm proud to say that most of the time the candidates usually choose our company because of our brand and because of the way that the market recognizes our culture.
I believe that the candidate journey is very important for you. From the first point of contact till they sign, well, it doesn't end there for the talent team because then they move to the people team. They change a bit department, their contact point changes a bit. But for the candidate experience, I believe that is really important from the first contact that you really cause a good impact. And through the process, they also feel supported because you work between the final client and the manager. So there's a lot of different parts that you are not always the one taking the decision if you hire the person.
Actually, I'm not taking the decision at all.
Yeah, so you are waiting for the client to schedule the interview. You are waiting for the client for the feedback. If he goes to interview and then if he gets selected, so there's a lot of moving parts that doesn't depend on the company. And then for the recruiters, it's really important that you keep the consultants aligned, the candidates still motivated for the mission. You still ping them from time to time. Sometimes it goes very fast and it's very good, but sometimes it's also slow. So it takes time, and it also creates problems because it maybe take 1 or 2 months.
And I can tell you, lose candidates during these
Of course, they already
processes.
signed with someone, they already found another
Yeah,
niche.
yeah,
Speed is very important here. Are you measuring the time that the client
yeah.
asks you a profile and the time that you submit? That time is really critical, that you are faster than your competitors.
We actually have SLA
Yeah.
for our delivery, which is 5 days. It's our internal SLA, okay, for the client. Usually we deliver a candidate, or we compromise ourselves to deliver a candidate within a period of 2 weeks. But internally for us is 5 days, because that's what we believe is an ideal time to market.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you kind of lose the time to answer, because probably there are other companies that will be faster than you. Sometimes the clients somehow also lost interest in the process
They launched
because
it, they waited too long, they didn't get
or
good
they
candidates.
figured out someone
Maybe we don't need.
internally,
Yes.
or they were very enthusiastic about the position, but then they start thinking that perhaps I can do some moves internally and I
Yeah.
can internally close the position, or that's not that relevant, or I can save some budget if I'm not
Internal
hiring them.
reorganization.
Yeah, it's essential to put some speed on that. So for
Yes.
us internally, it's 5 days, and then we usually sell to our clients 2 weeks. Obviously, it depends on the type
Yeah, you
of
can do it in one
profile.
day, you'll do it in one day. If you can answer in the same day.
Yeah, and regarding what you've mentioned on the candidate experience, one of the things that we work hard within my team is making sure that the candidate is always aware of what's going on
Yeah.
in the process, okay? All our candidates have a direct contact with us, and they can give us a call wherever they want, or send us a message wherever they want, and they will receive obviously a message back. And also tell them the truth, because I know there are some companies trying somehow to
Tomorrow you have
delay
the
the feedback, or are not open about salary. There is a lot of discussion now because of the new transparency law that is going to be implemented in a couple of theoretically in Portugal should be done on the 12th of June, but it's delayed as everything in Portugal. For us at KWAN, every time that a candidate asks what is the budget, we tell them. There's not a point on that. It's very relevant for a candidate to know what is the salary. So why I will not tell the candidate and do all the recruitment process, and then at the end of the process have no agreement, because I could clarify at earlier stages of the process. So we are very open and very transparent on all the things that we need to manage with our candidates, and I believe that also one of the things that make the candidate experience a positive experience.
I agree with you. I know that you give a lot of importance to the CV that you submit to the client. So you don't send the original CV, you have your own template, your best practices, how to write it. And currently, regarding the current market and how aggressive is it, how important is that the CV is aligned with the job description that the client is asking? So
it's like 100%.
Yeah, if it's not, if you just forward CVs and pray.
And everybody knows that both a recruiter or a client or hiring manager takes around between 1 and 3 minutes to read the CV. They are looking for specific words, usually for specific technologies, if we are talking about the IT market. If in 3 minutes they don't find exactly words they are looking for, they won't call the candidate, and that's it.
Yeah, of course.
So it's for me,
really
it's
important.
100%.
Because many times people underestimate, you'll not be hired because of your CV, but you'll not go to interview because of your CV.
And at the end, you won't be hired because of your CV.
A good CV doesn't guarantee you the position, but that CV will guarantee you that you don't get that position. So sometimes candidates need to be coached a bit. Look, I know that you are a great developer, but until you get the chance to show your skills, we need to work a bit on this piece of document in this CV to show that you have the relevant skills on paper, and then you can prove it on real life, so that you go to interview and you can really show your skills. They don't understand that much the power of a good CV and the power of a bad CV that can influence their career.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. Call for very capable candidates because the CV was not a good CV, and I couldn't realize by the CV, for instance, what they've done. And for this reason, I would call them. No. I'm sure that it happened during my professional career.
Regarding the CV preparation, people do not really understand what's happening on recruitment because there's a lot of admin and a lot of paperwork. They need to update the ATS, you need to update some internal documents, the interview notes, maybe the final CV to the client. Especially now that the times are so aggressive, every single step should be analyzed as a process. So CV preparation, how can we get the CV preparation better before the interview, for example, and then just save time there. Reuse all that information to generate the final CV. Already adapt the final CV with the job description. All those things should be treated as internal processes on recruitment, and they should be tried to be optimized in order to shorten a bit the time to submit the CV, the candidates to the clients. Because if you earn 30 minutes on CV preparation, if you earn 15 minutes or 20 minutes on adjusting the CV, all of that can be many times the difference between submitting first and the competitors and the person being called to the interview, or arrive already too late and the final client already saying, I already have 5 good candidates. Only if they are not okay in the interview, I will call more.
First of all, I know there are other companies that share these responsibilities with the candidates in the sense that they ask the candidates to adapt the CV, for instance, as you said, to a specific job position or to a specific role. At KWAN, we do it by ourselves. So we receive a CV from the candidate, which needs to be a good CV because otherwise we won't probably call the candidate for the first interview. But then we manage all the other steps internally. And as you said, as you know, use Sprint CV for the CV preparation and for the CV delivery to the client. But we both cross information coming from the interview with the information coming from the job description, also with the information that our colleagues from the client growth team collected during the contact with the client. There are a lot of sources giving us information about things we need to be very clear on the CV.
When you see the job description, you understand what the client wants. You want the DevOps, you want the developer, you want the front end, you want the full stack. What you want? You want the Superman, you want the architecture guy?
Sometimes I just ignore the name. And then I'll
software engineer. Thank you.
Let me just check what the person is gonna do, and then I'll move forward based on the exactly responsibilities that the person is gonna have. It's quite often the client wanna have someone that is able to take as much as tasks possible, no?
Yes.
But it's our responsibility also to let them know what exists in the market and share with them some profiles that we understand from our experience that may be a good fit within the position, even though they are not 100% related or 100% fit with the...
It also works a lot with the alignment between recruitment and the sales team. So in your case, it's growth team. So it's when you have a good alignment, the growth team, usually they have a direct contact with the manager, and just by giving them a phone call makes all the difference. I just received here your email, but what are you really searching for? And then usually they go over the job description. Look, I really need DevOps of my team just left, and I just took the first job description that looks more or less like the same and just forward to the market. Many times that alignment with the sales teams and the recruitment team can really help a lot.
At KWAN, the recruitment team, if needed, if the recruiter feels like I'm not getting totally in the position, they may have a meeting with the client and they may have a direct contact with the client so they can make the right questions in order to understand exactly what is the client need. This does not mean that our sales colleague is not able to understand.
You need to call them, but what we are really searching, so you do some 2 or 3 open questions and it's, I have a DevOps that left my team and I need to replace it.
Quite often that someone from the recruitment team also have some contact with our customers and our
Yes.
clients to get a clear perspective on the job position.
That's very good. And Fernanda, we cannot have this call without asking you about AI in recruitment. So it's the topic that is full of new solutions, is full of new automation, is full of AI everywhere, which I think sometimes is much buzzword than something else. What is your opinion?
We are using it in obviously
Everywhere. Nowadays, a person that don't use AI lives in a cave, I believe.
Yeah, but it actually helps. And I believe there are some specific parts of the recruitment process that can be actually done by AI, meaning sourcing, email book, for instance. This kind of stuff, I think, can easily be replaced by an agent. But then when you actually enter in the interview stage or in the human contact, I'm not sure that this can be done by an agent. Actually, there are already some studies showing that humans don't like to be called by agents, and they also don't like to be interviewed by agents, because there are already some companies doing interviews by agents and the success is not what was expected. So from my perspective, I believe that in what is concerned with sourcing, contact automations, etc., AI most probably will replace some of the talent acquisition work in what concerns interviews.
I think AI can replace a lot of the boring work of a recruiter.
Yeah, that's I agree.
Because of chasing someone to schedule a meeting, for me, I stopped doing it. I just share my calendar, just book it. Whenever
Yeah,
you
or
want.
for
My calendar's
instance,
up to date, so just find it when it's better.
when you need, for instance, to compare candidates in a very specific points, or if you need to do a very specific assessment, a very specific skill, stuff like this, AI probably will be better than a human, but in what concerns the direct contact,
Yes. And
I'm not
coaching
sure.
as well, and understanding what you
Yeah,
want.
obviously, yeah.
What is your driver to change? I think with that robotic voice of AI, and it looks
I
like
can tell you, I've read some papers about it, and some companies already tried it, and people don't like they don't feel the empathy.
I've seen some demos of startups appearing and very promising. I saw one that was doing interviews on WhatsApp, and I think it's much better because you don't have that robotic voice. But it's also very high volume positions that you just want to filter, and so you have a lot of applications.
Yeah, that's what I told you. It's just on the first stage when you wanna actually to do massive work. You wanna contact like 1,000 people, sending them a message. Cool. You wanna re-engage candidates from your database. Perfect. Like those kinds of things that actually you don't need to have someone calling you to say, listen, Marco, I remember you work with AWS. Could you please tell me in which projects you've done this? There's no need to having someone calling you just for this.
You do a lot in order to fit the CVs with the position. At least you try to contact somehow, because only the person knows what he has done. It's not on LinkedIn, it's not on his CV. Only the person knows what he has been doing.
Even, for instance, you want to re-engage with a relevant number of people from our database, sending a message via WhatsApp saying, listen, I have this position. Would you be interested in knowing more? Yes or no? And then someone takes from this point on. Matching between job positions and candidates is something that can be obviously done very well by AI. As far you have a very good candidate profile and a very good job position, but it's something that it's very, very relevant and can be done very good by AI and faster than by a human.
I just believe that you need to have the right processes. With AI being leveraged is a part of the solution. If you don't have a good process behind, AI will not fix it. Sometimes we see a lot of people put a very eccentric AI process. Just fix your process. So do the basic well, and then AI really can help you map all the skills of your candidate database.
Listen, if you don't have a good database, there is no way AI that's going to help you. And then even they will have the opposite effect. They're going to tell you, listen, AI is not helping me. There's no AI fault. It's just because you don't have you don't have like a good starting point.
I think AI is really a great tool if it's applied correctly, can save a lot of time. And then it's also the combination of all the processes together.
Yeah, I agree.
Really automate really small parts of it and remove the boring part and really liberate time for the people to give their added value. So coach, put really what is missing and really identify the gap, be faster, but it needs to be applied correctly. It's a very good medicine, but needs to be really applied correctly. If not, you're not healing anything.
No, I totally agree. But yeah, we're already using it for some of our processes, and it's helping us a lot.
In Sprint CV, we are now in the process of automating some processes, so that gap, yes, we'll be leveraging with AI, but the process will not be AI at all. So it's identifying the differences and just asking the candidates in a very easy way, where did you work with this? Tell me the projects, just click the boxes and go next. You don't need to call them. We also want to do kind of asking questions about the project descriptions to coach the candidates before they go to the interview, like technical questions where they can practice. Sometimes they're all a bit lost. That's also something that we have in mind. And there we'll be leveraging AI because AI can build the questions and then evaluate also the answers in automatic ways.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things we've been doing. But
no, because before recruiters, so usually you don't have IT background. So usually you come from human resources, psychology. You are more into people than to the business itself, to the technology. You were always quite limited to evaluate the skills of one person. You always had to go to a senior person that would do the technical interview. And nowadays, because of AI, you can do technical interviews. So if you save the transcript, you pass the transcript to the AI, and the AI will tell you this person doesn't know anything, or the person is doing a good answer.
Actually, we've done this for a very specific recruitment process. What we've done was this. We just built a set of questions, teach the AI what we were looking for exactly, send the questions to the candidate, receive a voice with the answers, or doing it during the interview. Most of the time during the interview, making sure that
he's not typing somewhere.
Yeah. And then send back to the AI, so the AI can give us a score, can compare between the candidates, and then send it back to the client, so that can be part of the CV assessment and help supporting the decision which candidates they should call for an interview. It was nice, and it worked, and we have a very good success rate with this recruitment process.
Just to close our interview, Fernanda, it's going very well, but we need to end. What you feel that will be the future of recruitment, also the future of KWAN, and if you are hiring, and how can people contact you to join KWAN?
So, easy way to contact us is obviously going through our website, www.kwan.com. My team is actually on LinkedIn and is always posting our jobs and also other activities, because we also have some technical events and some other relevant events that might be interesting for technical people. Regarding the future of recruitment, I really believe that, as you said, some of our boring tasks will be replaced by AI. I also believe that if you want to develop yourself as a talent acquisition, you should develop yourself as someone that is able to use AI, not only in the sense you use nowadays ChatGPT, asking them, please write me a job ad, but in a more complex way, in the sense that allows you to integrate the different systems you use, to give you some metrics on your job, to helping you automate even some other tasks that you are doing on your days and for some reason are not still automated. So I believe that every talent acquisition, if you want to move forward within his career for the future, should have this drive. Otherwise, I'm not sure that they will survive as a talent acquisition. I'm very optimistic about AI. I'm not those kinds of person that thinks that AI is gonna...
It's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Well,
but there is a lot of people that are very negative, saying we're gonna lose thousands of jobs. I'm not on this side of people. I believe there are great opportunities for everybody, but you need to have this drive to learn and to know how to use the tools that obviously are being put on your services and are being delivered to you, to giving you the possibility to do your job easily and faster in a different way. So that's the way I see the recruitment. I believe there are lots of transformations going to happen, and it won't take that much time from my perspective.
In 2 years, the market will be very, very. I started to use ChatGPT in 2023, like 3 years ago, I think.
I feel like the boom was 1 year ago.
I would even say from the beginning of the year that you start to hear about Claude, this and this and that and that and that. So the acceleration is huge. It's huge. And the number of new tools and the number of new stuff that is coming. We also see in terms of our development. So the acceleration that we had in terms of features, all related because of AI. Clients coming with new
And
ideas.
even for us,
challenges.
very simple things like I'll give you an example. Listen, I'm sending these messages for 100 candidates. I'm not receiving any answer. Please let me know what I should write in order to have this conversion rate. And it's giving you a very relevant message explaining you why the conversion rate is gonna be better. It's giving you inputs in the sense of, listen, your conversion rate is aligned with all your competitors. So it's a very easy example of things that were very hard to find in the past.
Like nowadays, the limitation is yourself. If you don't put yourself to the test, and if you accommodate yourself and you don't want to improve, if you are always looking forward how I'm benchmarking myself, how to improve, how to get better, AI really can help you on that. If you stay stagnated, the people that are being proactive, learning and stuff, they will pass you. Before, I think the pace was there, but it was much slower, and now it's much faster.
Yeah, and then they will slow down, obviously, but then you need to be
No, we are
already.
just catching up the wave, and then it will flatten a bit. And perfect. And for KWAN, I think you are very optimistic.
I am, yeah. Because I think that most probably we're gonna shift from where we've been hiring, and we already start receiving much more demanding on AI profiles, obviously, and that's the way we see. We are preparing ourselves, obviously, to be capable to deliver these profiles as well. We've started working on these profiles a couple of months ago, even before we start receiving.
You already could see that where the market was going.
Yeah. Now that we start receiving, we are able to deliver it in the correct way. Also training the team to have the correct skills to assess the candidates and to understand the difference between the profiles. That it's very important. Also, I think what's gonna happen with KWAN is this shift in what concerns
follow the market. So if the market change from one sector to one specialty.
And obviously internally in our processes, and that's something we are doing. Our CEO is actually doing a great job giving us this sense of emergency in order to, guys, you need to start working with that. You need to start looking for your processes and understand where you can put AI. So internally, there's something that we are doing also to make sure that the company is actually aligned with the market and with the.
You're not aligned, you are ahead.
Yeah, I think we are quite ahead at the moment.
If your aim is to be aligned, you'll be behind. So your aim must be to be ahead. So if we miss, at least we are aligned.
That's our move internally to make sure that our processes are using AI as much as possible in order to become better and faster. And as a service provider, making sure that our service lines are also able to deliver what the market is asking for.
Perfect. I think it's very good. Fernanda, if you know parts of the Sprint CV process that needs to be improved, please share your comment. We have a lot of new features coming, also already implemented. I think it's always good to do a bit of catch up and show you what exists. And also in that process of improving AI, also put your suppliers and your software providers in the loop, because maybe working with them, you can get much better processes. And if the suppliers also have that opening, okay, let's learn with you, let's learn with your processes, and let's improve your best practices also in the product, or let's improve the product that becomes the best practice also in your process. Yeah, so we are always very open to that.
Well, yeah, and we have a very good relation, so yeah, that's
sometimes it's really hard to find. If the clients are happy, it's really hard to speak with them.
That's true. I understand. They only call you to say that.
Things I'm very happy. I don't have time. So sorry.
No, but we are really happy with Sprint CV. That actually save us a lot of time since the moment we started using it a couple of years ago, and the product is getting better and better. and is helping us a lot, obviously.
Many thanks for the very good feedback. But let's work together in order to improve some parts of the process, reusability of past candidates, interview notes, and also adjusting the job in order to save time for recruiters so you can really focus on sourcing. More time for sourcing and more time to coach the candidates and make them sign the contract. Sign the contract and also be faster to reply to the clients. I believe, my honestly opinion is you should be able to reply to the customer in 1 or 2 days.
I believe that one day is the ideal scenario.
Yeah. Same day or tomorrow morning when they open the mailbox, they see already a candidate that they, okay, nice. Because they are still very, I just did the opening, I want to interview people. You propose them a good candidate, they want to interview in almost in the same days, they want to move very fast because it's very fresh and for them it's urgent.
Yeah.
The ones that capitalize on that, it's the ones that close the position.
That's correct.
Fernanda, was a great pleasure.
My pleasure as well, Marco.
Many thanks for everything. Muito obrigado.
Let's keep in touch. Obrigada.
Yes.